Hello, welcome to A Spell a Day. We're covering a spell every single day from the 5e PHB +3. The +3 are homebrew. We're at +1 right now. You can go back in the playlist to go and find that. Today's spell is Friends. Enchantment Cantrip, cast in tempo 1 action, range of self, components of somatic material, a small amount of makeup applied to the face as the spell is cast. As the spell is cast? You have to be dabbing yourself as you're cast. It's an action. Duration concentration up to 1 minute. I'm still not over the way that material component's worded. Huh. For the duration, you have advantage on all charisma checks directed at one creature of your choice that isn't hostile towards you. When the spell ends, the creature realizes that you used magic to influence its mood and become hostile towards you. A creature prone to violence might attack you. Another creature might seek retribution in other ways at the DM's discretion, depending on the nature of your interaction with it. Garbage. Fun spell, especially the material component, which I don't know how I never read it was as you're applying it. I thought you just had to have this on you or some kind of perfume. I didn't know it was makeup you had to be applying. The idea of like being in a tavern preparing to go and talk to someone with this, dabbing it on your face as you're casting it. I don't know if there's that many material components that have an action worded in the material. That's interesting. Note below in the comments if you know of any others, or if I've missed them or already mentioned them and don't remember. And I know there's some spells that specifically mention what you're doing with the material in the spell description itself, but I'm talking about in the material description at the start. Advantage in all concentration checks against one creature you choose is nice. I'd even say for a cantrip, that'd be worth concentration. Yeah, you wouldn't be able to do this in the middle of having another concentration spell up, but in a social scenario where I see the spell being used most often, because I doubt you're using this in combat. I mean, you could. Don't see it that often, though. Until we get to the end of it, or halfway through the spell's description itself, this is actually really good. I mean, just a cantrip advantage on charisma checks against a creature? Great. Even worth the concentration. Which is probably what would stop you from consistently using this all the time, because in the few scenarios where you would have another concentration spell up. Where this goes down, and why this is never picked up. When the spell ends, the creature realizes you used magic on it and immediately becomes hostile towards you. Excuse me? I know there's some other spells that, like Charm Person, or some other enchantment spells that the creature realizes magic was used on them at the end. And that's fine. The only exception I can think of to those spells that already have that feature built in is high enough level enchantment wizard, which can just ignore that effect with the rewrite memory. Again, this isn't going to be used in... The thing with those spells is, yes, those suck or have possible retribution when using it in social situations, but you have an hour window. You've got some time to act until that situation boils over, of like, oh, I've been affected by magic. Especially if you're in combat, doesn't matter, you're just stopping them from hitting you for some time. Or having them do something, or taking control of them. When it comes to a social scenario outside of combat, you gotta deal with that retribution. That's one of the issues of Charm Person on like a regular guard. If they saw your face, and they know you, there might be some comeback to that. But then again, you still have an hour to book it out of town, or deal with whatever you needed to do. Friends gives you a minute and concentration, meaning if you drop concentration for any other reason during that time, which is already only a minute, they instantly know. So, useless. All that advantage, this is good for sneaking through a door, and then not even that, because then you only have a minute window, or whatever's left. However many rounds it took you to convince your way through the doorway. Unless you're immediately killing this person after you got information out of them, all that schmoozing is done. It's useless. All that schmoozing is a waste. Schmoozing the right word? Or am I saying something really raunchy? Fun, flavorful spell. Sadly brought down by that last clause. And it's time. So, 1 out of 10? 2 out of 10? Again, there's the door scenario, or if you're instantly killing them. Good to get information out of them. Wait a minute. Advantage on all charisma checks directed at one creature of your choice that isn't hostile towards you. The hostile part. I was about to say you could use this for intimidation during trying to, well, intimidate during an interrogation. Deception check as well. Lie your way in, but they have to already not be hostile. They also already have to not be hostile. Even the example in combat you can't use. 1 out of 10. 1 out of 10. If you have anything in the comments to say against that rating, go ahead. Please tell me a use for this cantrip, because wow, that's bad.